Hello there and welcome back to another edition of Silly Car Showdown. Today we are taking a look at the Willys Jeep. This car was requested by my driver X and I am very excited about this Willys Jeep. This is a car which has been in Forza since Horizon 2, and in Horizon 2 I drove this a fair bit and I liked it very much. It is a surprisingly good car to drive, especially when upgraded. As my off-road car of choice in quite a lot of games, I've ran an S1 version of this vehicle, so I'm very interested to see what it will be like when it takes on our course. Now, let's go ahead and see what we can do. This being a 1945 vehicle, we won't have much in the way of tyre sizes, but, you know, we will see. Also, I believe this can only run off-road tyres. But, of course, we will start with engine swaps. We have a choice of a 6.2 litre V8, the ever-present Turbo Rally, or the racing 7.2 litre V8. I think I'm going to go for that, for maximum silliness, because why not? And you know what, we'll supercharge it as well while we are here. In terms of this stuff, you do get some quite cool looking adjustable bits and bobs with the Jeep, but unfortunately we can't use any of it. That, however, does lower weight, so sod it, will strip all of that off. Right, tyres, yeah, as I suspected, only off-road racing tyres are allowed, and we have to get 215s, which I'm assuming is going to be all round. Yes, it is. Okay, that's a bit more of an issue, but nevertheless, we will carry on. Of course, we are definitely going to want a new gearbox in this thing. Differential, yes. Brakes, definitely want brakes. Right, racing suspension, which is gonna make this thing look a little bit strange, but there you go. What you have to do a few times. That handling stat is not very encouraging, it has to be said. We'll add the roll cage on it, which makes this thing look a little bit more mental. S2 class. Oh god. Right. On to the actual engine itself. It's climbing PI, which I was not expecting. I was expecting this thing, considering its sort of issues with its handling stat, to not be climbing power, but there you go. Anyways, 1,351 horsepower, 1,007 foot-pound torque, 2,132 pounds of weight, 3.2 seconds 60, a top speed of 235 miles per hour. Yeah, this thing could be pretty darn mental, it has to be said. I am slightly scared, but at the same time, a little bit confident. You know, I've driven the Willys Jeep, as I said, you know, in Horizon 2 and stuff. I've built these up, and they've been, Horizon 2, Horizon 3, I had these built up, I really like them. I even had one of these in Forza 7. I've driven quite a few of these for Top Gear laps, and I really like the way they drive, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it's like when it takes on our snowy track. Well, here we are at our snowy Edinburgh course with the very terrifying Willys Jeep, ready to take on 5 laps of the Edinburgh course to see how quick it will go. Our current leader is the Ferrari Huracan V12 GTE, which has a time of 1:35.743. The Jeep, unlikely to beat that. I mean, if it would go through corners, if it was on race tyres, I may be convinced. It isn't. So I'm less convinced. Whoa, okay, yes, I can see the way this is going to go. This is not the 240SX. It is not a nice car to drive. I'll ruin that straight off the bat. Although it is insanely quick. So I've ended up with a car which is the complete opposite of my little 240SX from last time. I missed that car already. Yeah, this is interesting, certainly. In terms of where I think this car's going to go, I have absolutely no idea. The last car that we had, which sort of could only run dirt tyres, was the Porsche 959 Rally Raid. That did, oh my god, that is a lot of speed. Let's slow that down. Okay, right, the straight line speed is ridiculous. The last car that we had that could only run dirt tyres was the mental 959 Rally Raid thing. That set a time of 1:42.800. I don't think this is going to have the same success. Again, the lack of race tyres is definitely going to hurt this one. I'd be curious to see what it'd be like with Forza Aero. Forza Aero would probably make this car a hell of a lot better, but of course that's against the rules because I like to make things hard for myself. and this certainly is doing that. My god. It's just bouncing around all over the place. It is incredibly quick, though. There is no denying how quick in a straight line it is. It's just, the problem is, with straight lines is, well, corners have to come after straight lines, and this really does not do well with the corners. Very much a point-and-click car. 152.449, pretty much the same as the 240SX had in its opening run. Granted, the 240SX was not this bad. Yeah, this is an interesting car to drive, and let me tell you, it's very strange. Like, again, you'll go really fast, and then you press the brakes and nothing happens. It reminds me of driving something like a Bugatti Veyron in some of the old Forza games, when that car had like no turning whatsoever. It's a little bit better these days. I'm definitely getting Veyron vibes from the way this thing drives. I mean, that's kind of similar, I guess. You know, both are ridiculously powerful forced induction engines. This actually has more power than a Veyron, ironically enough. This is also supercharged, unlike a Veyron. Yes, I don't think I actually went through that checkpoint, but I'm not going to complain. It is ridiculous. I like it a lot. I think the best way to drive this car is to just bash it through walls, though, I've got to be perfectly honest. Not the cleanest looking of things, but certainly interesting. Yeah, also I'm just decided, bit of an unrelated note, but I guess I'll mention it. The skills thing that shows up, I used to turn that off during these. I think I'm just going to leave it on at this point, because it doesn't really bother. You know, it's not really doing much. Holy crap. It's not really doing much in the same way that the Willys Jeep is not really doing much braking into that corner. But yeah, it's not really detracting from the video at all, so I may as well leave that running in the back of the ground. Right. It's the phenomenal straight line speed of this thing is something to truly behold. It really is something, just how quick it is. Yeah, I really like it. Well, I say I really like it. I like how terrifying it is. It's fun. Unlike the 240SX, this is not a car I would drive by my own free will, it has to be said. Also, we got a 151.118 with a turn which I didn't go through properly, so the signs are looking a bit positive for the Jeep. I think it will deliver a decent enough time. It's just not going to be a particularly good car to get that time, shall we say. Oh my god. I love the interior view in this car as well, sort of the ridiculous amount of how big the wheel is and how ridiculous it looks while it's turning. She looks like she's having an awful lot of terrifying in there, shall we say. I think this is one of our first... Well, it's not the first, obviously we had the new Z4 and the Sprite the other day. But it's one of the only open-top cars to take on the course, which is something to mention. Probably the most open-top of all of them. Whee. And that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, trying to get a good lap time out of this is going to prove to be challenging, to say that. Well, it's not so much getting a good lap time, it'll probably get a decent lap. Getting a clean lap out of it, though, is a different story entirely. God. There we go. We stopped a bit. And by a bit, I mean not a lot. Alright. Once again, we'll point and squirm our way to the finish line. That was no quicker. Alright, come on. This will be the lap. This will be the lap for our precious little Jeep. This will be the one. I say this will be the one. I don't... You never really know, but I'd like to think we'll get this right eventually. There we go. There we go. Oh, look at that. Much nicer. Much nicer for all of there. Definitely. On the brakes again. As we go up here. I'm sort of trying to focus on getting a good time out of this. I do want the Jeep to do well, contrary to what you might think. Even though it is a completely mental buffoon of a vehicle, it would be quite nice to get one of the older cars up towards the top end of the leaderboard, because most of the top end of our leaderboard is full of newer cars. I think like the oldest stuff up there is like the Lola. I'm just sort of trying to look out the back of the eyelids. Yeah, the Lola is about the quickest thing we've had up there so far in terms of really old cars, and that's an old race car. That's predictably quick. I want something ridiculous like this Jeep to do well. The top 15 for the Jeep would be hilarious, but whether we'll get that out of it or not is a different story entirely. That being said, that is a lot better. I think this is going to be a quick lap for the Jeep, or about as quick as it's going to get. Come on. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I knew it would be a quick lap for the Jeep. Can we maintain pace? That is the question. Go on, Jeep. If we can... that is insane. That lap time. Oh my god. I want more out of you though, Jeep. It is insane. It is not a good driving car. Do not pick this, thinking like, oh, I'm going to have a great experience. It's going to be good fun. I'm going to be setting world records and crap. No. You pick this when you want to have mental fun. You pick this when you want to go drag racing. You pick this when you want to throw all caution to the wind and just say, do you know what I really want to do today? Dying a ridiculously quick Jeep with no safety, no reason to exist. I just want to drive a 1300 horsepower Willys Jeep up to a ridiculous top speed. I mean, again, apparently it'll do 230. I'm sure if you played around with the gear ratios and stuff, I mean, granted, it has the aerodynamics of a barn, but if this thing could probably do 240. It wouldn't surprise me if it could do 240. Yeah. A ridiculous car is the Willys Jeep, and I like it a lot. So, yeah, definitely one of the more memorable cars to go around Silly Car Showdown, if you ask me. Thank you, my driver, for requesting this one. I was, as soon as I saw this car pop up in the request sheet, I was like, you know what, that has got to be done, because that is an incredibly bad idea. This lap will be no quicker, but that is no bother. Wow. It's truly something. It might be the quickest accelerating thing we've had. In terms of its actual overall top speed, it is beating out the Jaguar CX and the, I imagine the Lamborghini as well, the Ferrari, sorry. It's beating all of that in terms of its just overall ridiculous straight line acceleration. But, yeah, overall a really interesting, unique car to drive. Certainly. One that I did quite like. And I would recommend it if you want some good old-fashioned fun, shall we say. Anyways, a 144.479 will put this into, and I can't believe I'm saying this, 12th place. It is just a second, well, just under a second underneath the V8 Subaru Impreza. It's just over a second slower than the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. It is a second quicker than the new BMW Z4. It is a second and a bit quicker than the Impreza Hawkeye. And up 2 seconds on the Viper Box Mustang. Yeah, a very impressive go from the Willys. Again, the PI on this thing is pretty good. But as we found out during the course of the series, especially in cases of stuff like Viper Box Mustangs, the Lola, stuff like that, PI isn't everything. PI really isn't everything. PI can only tell so much of the story. The other part of the story gets told when you actually drive the bleeding thing. I did not want to do that. Yeah. A solid... well, I say a solid vehicle. A stupid vehicle. Although, much like the 959, all I'm left wondering is if this thing was on race tyres, how much quicker could it have been? But unfortunately, we'll never find out the answer to that question. But thank you all very much for watching this edition of Silly Car Showdown. If you'd like to request cars for this series, you can type below in the comment section. Alternatively, if you go in the link in the description on my channel, you can join my Discord server and request cars in the request chat, which is the best place to do it. That is where I can keep everything up to date and all in one place. If you are watching this on HD Central, the link you'll find down below in the description is my link. Come check out my channel if you want to watch some subpar content by someone who can barely speak a word of sensible English. With that all being said and done, thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, farewell.